Okay, good afternoon. I've been hearing the name Andrew Tate spoken a lot on the internet recently, and that was a bit of a blast from the past. I remember him back from his fighting days. So I basically had to go in as to why everybody hates him now, and at first it kind of surprised me. Andrew Tate is one of the many self-styled alpha male pickup artist male guru types floating around on the internet. But however, he seems to be somebody who at the very least can back up what they say with their actions, unlike your Jack Goldmans in the liminal order. We all remember that fiasco. So my question became, why does everybody hate him so much? Why is he constantly denigrated and attacked? And also, why were the attacks why were they so lacking in substance? As far as I could tell, the only thing that anyone could really say about him was that they hated him, and that they couldn't really go into detail as to why, which piqued my curiosity. So I had to go in and take a look, and after watching a bunch of his videos, not particularly enjoying them, nothing against the man, I just don't find his brand of materialism very attractive. Looking into how he lives and looking into what he says, I think I figured out why lefties and the average, middle-of-the-road materialist consumer hate him so much. Simply put, he is the perfect man, according to them. No, really think about it. According to pretty much every single metric on dating sites, he is the perfect man. Andrew Tate hits every single check mark. They want him to be 6 feet tall. He's over 6 feet tall. They want him to be strong. Well, he was an MMA fighter, and still keeps himself fit from what I've seen. They want you to have a lot of money. He's got a lot of money. They don't want you to spend all of your time working. Well, he's an influencer, which kind of also takes care of the whole social status thing. Simply put, he checks every single box of everything that would naturally make a man desirable according to the modern-day hookup culture, whatever you want to call it, materialist consumer dating life. So why is he hated rather than being held up on a pedestal as something that, well, you should be going for? Well, simply put, much like demons shriek when you say their actual name, Andrew Tate seems to be calling out the very materialistic culture that he has effectively won at. He seems to be calling it out for all of its various hypocrisies, failings, shortcomings, spiritual shortcomings, long-term practical shortcomings. He is calling all of it out, while still engaging in it, and arguably winning. So, Mr. Tate is more or less immune to all of their criticisms. Not just because they can't say, oh, you're an angry incel. That's not going to hold up. They can't say, oh, you can't get a date, because I'd be willing to bet that most of the women that criticize Andrew Tate would jump at a moment's notice to be taken out by him. And then you have the issue, oh, well, he's a racist, or he's a racism, or a white supremacist or something. He's half black. So I do believe that makes you count as a BIPOC in their lingo. So simply put, he's immune from any of that criticism as well. So what you have in Mr. Andrew Tate is somebody who has more or less won the game, so you can't accuse him of being a sore loser. And now he is basically pointing out why it's a terrible game to play. Now granted, he himself is still engaging in it. And honestly, why wouldn't you at that point? Because he's still got plenty of time as a man to find someone who can actually spiritually fulfill him. He is clearly gathering his own resource pile, and there's no shame in that. In fact, that's a commendable thing to do, so long as you plan on doing good things with those resources. Simply put, the people that worship at the altar of consumerism, well, he more or less has become their champion, and he is using that position to blaspheme against their temple. And I think that's honestly why they hate Andrew Tate so much. Now, I would not recommend anybody follow his advice to the letter. There is nothing wrong with physical self-improvement, looking out for yourself first, and especially gathering resources, especially because, after all, we live in a very practical world. You need money for everything from food to shelter to using your hobbies that keep you psychologically fulfilled, and of course eventually raising a family, which I don't believe is something that he's really pointed out. That is something that he typically neglects. But again, he's got plenty of time to do a 180 on that one. I guess if I had any criticism for Mr. Andrew Tate, it would be that while it is an excellent thing for him to arm young men so that they do not get emotionally taken advantage of, like all these poor simps giving to e-girls and stuff like that, just hoping one day that they'll get some attention from them, which they won't. He's arming them to not be taken advantage of, which is excellent. That is something that is commendable, because young men need that. Because young men don't know everything. And oftentimes they're neglected to be told these lessons by their fathers. It's a sad condition that the past 2 generations or so have been stuck in. But the problem is that he takes young men that would otherwise be on the fence or not taken advantage of, or might have a chance to cultivate a good relationship. He makes them antagonistic towards women and general society. There is such a thing as too much aggression. There is such a thing as too much defense. If you hermit yourself away in a spiritual hole for fear of somebody taking advantage of you, you miss out on all the opportunities to actually build a life with someone. And that would honestly be my only criticism, and that's something that could be easily fixed. Simply by a slight change in direction. But anyways, so that's honestly my take on Mr. Andrew Tate. A very successful man. Now, I would not want to emulate his life perfectly, but at the very least, I can look at his success and, well, admire his innovation and admire his work ethic. I just think it's funny that the consumerist left despise him because he is everything that they would aspire to be. They can't have it, and he chooses to use that to mock them. It's kind of interesting. Well, that has been my video for today, and I hope you all have a very nice day. Once again, go outside, get some fresh air, drink plenty of water, eat fresh meat wherever you can, because food shortages are coming, the worldwide, next 4 months, likely. Take care of yourself, get some exercise, and you have a good day.